Good morning, everybody. Rise and shine. They're doing more parking lot work, so I've been up. It's so loud outside. I don't think it's picking up on the mic, though, thankfully, but I think this is the last week for it, thankfully, but I'm sick of it. I'm ready to be done with it. But yeah, apart from that, I hope you all have had a good week. I've just been tired. Did a bonus stream on Tuesday, so I've been streaming like every day. Did I stream on Sunday this week? No, yes I did. I've been streaming like every day so far. But we're not gonna stop yet. Because I'm doing 2 weekend streams this weekend, and then on Monday we are going to check out the new Inzoi update, swapping over from our Sims 4 playthrough, which it's actually really good timing on Inzoi's part, because Sims 4 is completely broken now. I really like they did add a lot of much needed features to the base game, specifically a lot of like detailed spots for aging, which I'm very excited for as someone that does like primarily legacy playthroughs in their free time. They also added like a pack selector directly in game, which is kind of, it's a good failsafe to have. It sucks that a failsafe is needed, but sometimes packs are broken or you realize you hate them and wasted your money. So to have a selector in the game, or the better vision being, I want to do a specific type of playthrough, let me just quickly disable a pack that works. Unfortunately, it's a base game update that broke the entire game. People are reporting their saves being completely messed up and unplayable, not being able to launch the game with or without mods. So I'm gonna give it like another week or two. I'm gonna give it like the rest of the month, and I'm just gonna let my personal files sit. We probably won't touch Sims 4 again until like a month anyway, so it's a good time for Inzoi to roll out their new stuff. So yeah, we will be checking out that new update on Monday. Tomorrow we are going to do our last Hades 2 stream while it's in early access. After that, I'm gonna put it down until 1.0. They weren't at Gamescom, were they? I haven't heard anything about a Hades 2 1.0, but let me look it up just in case. I know that we did get a Silksong is real? ? Silksong's real? And it's dropping September 4th. Now, I've been hyped about Silksong. I haven't played Hollow Knight. I've just been like secondhand hyped. Because I've watched people play Hollow Knight and I've seen what a good Metroidvania it is. And I just know people have been dying for Silksong, and what made me happiest to hear is that the devs were like, we weren't in development hell for like those 6 years. We just had so much fun making the game that we kept developing it further and further. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that and Hollow Knight out back to back at some point. But if you are a Silksong fan, if you've been waiting and somehow you haven't heard the news yet, let me be the one to break it to you. It's coming out way sooner than you not September 4th next year, this September 4th. But I know people were like, oh, we needed updates, like, and we're in agony. And like, even like the past month or two, we finally started getting some updates, but it was just like kind of footage we've already seen in like 10-second clips. But honestly, I kind of respect them for like barely showing anything except the same 30 seconds of footage over 6 years like straight, and then suddenly they didn't even like show that much new stuff in a trailer. I think they just are like, hey, we have a demo at Gamescom and it's coming out in like 2 weeks and we loved making it. That is such a baller move. I have so much respect for Team Cherry for that. They also said, like, reviewers game journalists aren't getting copies early. They aren't doing like they aren't sending this out, and usually that would be a bad sign, but they're like, no, we just want everyone to formulate their own opinions at like the same time. It's kind of they're using it to generate hype instead of generate worry. So I don't know, something about their strategy, like as much dismay as it caused, people generated their own marketing for Silksong over the past 6 years, and now that it's finally here, they can just pour their all into it for a couple weeks, and I think they're gonna be set. So like, kind of mad respect to them for using such a minimal strategy but going so far. Yeah, that is one thing, is expectations are crazy high. People are already calling it Game of the Year. And we don't know like anything about it yet still. But I don't have any doubt we could probably see it somewhere at the Game Awards. Like, I expect it to make a big impact, but what I do worry in the back of my mind we'll have like a Kingdom Hearts 3 situation where it will be a good game, and a great game in some respects, but as sequel and as in terms of the expectation of will it be the best game ever, and will it be better than a previous game in the franchise being the best game ever, I do worry it will run into some of that, and that people could judge it harsher because they've been waiting so long. But I feel like from what I've seen of the Hollow Knight community, I think they're a bit better than that. Fingers crossed this does not fingers crossed that does not age badly and we see the most toxic community known to man. But I have a feeling that Silksong, even if there are like contentions on whether or not it's better, it will generate its own little fandom, and defenders and people that see the love the devs put into the game. That's the thing, is like, how do you make it better? But also, that's something a little surprised the devs will have to show to us, I guess, right? But yeah, I don't have any plans to stream Silksong at the moment because I haven't played Hollow Knight at the moment. But if I were, we have played Metroidvanias on the channel, mainly Metroid Dread, which that's my favorite Metroidvania. I love Metroid Dread. It's actually the first Metroid game I've beaten and 100%ed. I waited for that game specifically so long, and I fell in love with it. But it did reignite. I think my friend was playing through Hollow Knight at the same time I was playing Metroid Dread, so we were kind of like in that zone for a bit. So it is something I'm open to, but we have like 100 games on our stream backlog, so I'll have to figure it out. But if we play it, we would definitely play them both back to back, and I would let y'all know. Yeah, they're guaranteed to make money either way, so they're good. They're good. They've already won the battle. It's just about crossing the finish line. It's just that hard part, but it's also the fun part of game development, to be like, whether it goes poorly, there's a sense of relief when you finally release a game. It's like, whether it's the worst game ever made or Game of the Year, it's done. It's done, and you can like breathe for a bit when you hit a milestone like that. So I hope the team is just like reveling in like the next month or so that they have, both leading up to and after the release. I think they've earned it, regardless of whatever the reception ends up being. They released Silksong before GTA 6. We're living in a time. But yeah, we'll be playing, speaking of early access, we'll be playing Hades 2. Next time we pick it up will be its 1.0 release. Who knows when that'll be? It could be shadow drop just like Silksong and come out next month. It could come out sometime next year. Whenever it does come out, I will make room for us to do a full playthrough. We won't be starting from scratch. We'll be resuming where we are with our early access status. But it will be the full game, so I do anticipate needing several streams to cover all the content I want to, with the full game, the true ending, and then the post-game, because Hades usually has a lengthy post-game as well. So we'll be doing our last early access stream of that on tomorrow, Saturday, and then we'll be doing a Tears of the Kingdom stream on Sunday because we've got to get these Koroks. There's a lot of Koroks. I think I'm at 60% completion now. I kind of like did 10 per- I think I got 100 Korok seeds the other night. So we're getting there, but I'm gonna need a fully dedicated like 5 or 6 hours on Sunday to really lock in. But yeah, today it's just a little game dev stream here. So this is our little project that we've been doing, is we've been remaking arenas from Kid Icarus Uprising until Nintendo does it themselves, please. And I don't have plans to market this or package it up or publish it or anywhere. It's kind of more of an educational study I like to do on remaking things in Unreal and trying to dissect why I like those levels so much in the first place. So this is our third arena we've remade for Kid Icarus Uprising. It's the Ancient Fortress map, and we also, I believe last stream was our cover revision pass where we are using the Unreal Lyra template. I do hope to modify Lyra. Lyra is a pain in the ass to modify. I do hope to modify it a little bit though, so that way it feels a bit more like Light v Dark mode, which is a little more melee focused, I would say, and pickup focused. This game is Lyra is a shooter deathmatch, so you just get headshot instantly if there's not enough cover. So to make the layout work for a different game mode, I've added like a layer of cover revisions here that are not present in the original game, but we do want present for just playtesting in Lyra, so that we're not dying all the time, and also thinking like when you change game modes or even when you just remake a game in general and there's even just the slightest tweaks to getting the gameplay to feel a bit fresh and new, what changes do you have to make in the layout to accommodate that? So we have a sublevel for that. The rest of the block out, we'll probably keep the cover revisions hidden and in block out form today. I am gonna make how I like to work is I like to have a block out level and then I like to add the art over on top of that. Some places you just have a geometry level and you like replace the assets themselves as you go. For me, I like to have a separate art level, even though it can get a little convoluted and a little messy at times, so that way if you need to reference the original block out level, you can do that. So yeah, let's do each fortress, we'll call it art. And we'll set that to be always loaded so we can see it. And now the assets we're gonna use, I'll actually let me open up our other level, Forgotten City, real quick. So this was the first map we did. If it wants to load. Oh lord, not the shaders. Well, when it loads, hopefully it will load. We had a bit of a glitch a few streams back where it said the shaders loaded and they didn't, and I had to like manually go in and load them. Hopefully we're not having that glitch again because it was kind of a pain in the ass, but we can speedrun fixing it. Though it do look kind of cool and lit. Look at that. Look how cool it looks. This was the first level. There we go. It's working. We blocked out, and as you can see, we're using just a bunch of like free kits, either free stuff that's currently free, up from like Mega Scans or up from the Unreal Marketplace, or stuff that I've collected that's been offered as free in the Unreal Marketplace over the past, what, 6? Probably longer actually, 6, 7, 8 years. I've been collecting stuff for a while. I'm not as good about it anymore, which I need to be. But every 2 weeks now, Epic does offer free stuff that you can download. Like free for the. It used to be free for the month, I guess. Free for every 2 weeks. It doesn't sound as catchy. They did make it a lot harder. They merged with like Fab. It is a pain in the ass now, and that's why I don't do it as much. Like, it doesn't work in the Epic Games Launcher. It launches into a browser and then it hides where it is. So it kind of feels intentionally badly designed to frustrate you and keep you from getting free stuff and instead buying more stuff. It feels like one of those things where they try to, like, the modern Apple used to be really good about innovation back in the day, but the modern Apple way of, like, we'll make something so frustrating to use and, like, that you'll have to buy something extra to fix it. That's kind of what it feels like the merger did, and it be angering me. But if you can find it, they do. The one plus is that it does update that stuff every 2 weeks now. So especially if you're just starting, whether you're just starting out actually, or whether you're like a seasoned veteran, they have some good stuff. Sometimes your cart value will be like $1,000 worth of free stuff. Sometimes it's just like a couple hundred, but you could have like a pack that is really like, I think one of my favorites was like the low poly cat pack. I put those things in every project just to feel something. Like, sometimes you can find a pack for free, even if you don't think you need it in the moment. There could be a day several years down the line that you're like, wait a minute, is this pack compatible with Unreal still? Because I need something like this for a project. So, if you're even slightly interested, if you even have Unreal Engine downloaded, even just for fun, on like your PC, very highly recommend starting to download that free stuff on a schedule, so that you can build out a library of free assets to use. Yeah, you know, I know people have always hated the Epic Games Store. I was at least able to tolerate it. I was like, you know, it's not that bad until like this recent, and I liked Fab separately also. I'm like, Fab is cool and it's its own separate thing. This merge has brought the worst of each platform and merged them into each other, and it is so infuriating to me. It's genuinely made me angry to develop stuff. I'm like, well, now I don't want to do it. Yeah, I hate when the outcome is like, instead of making something modern, we've created the worst of both worlds. It's like, that's not what I ordered. Oh, okay, that is something that I thought I was going crazy. I've never actually just put it into words that it does like use the back arrow when you back out. I think it's when you back out of anything, it will like skip a step or two. It doesn't directly go back to the page you were on. It will like skip a step, and it will usually take a while to load too. And I'm like, well, like, oh my gosh. It's bad. It's bad. it's not great. Where'd my gizmo go? Hello? Okay, there it is. My gizmo disappeared for a moment. He didn't like me talking bad about the Epic Games Store. They just hack in and remove my let me put this on 50. They remove my gizmo privileges. I said, no rotation tool for you. Get out of here. Make sure that's the right thickness. It is. Okay, I did offset this by 5. Or by 10 maybe. Oh, there's a slight overlap here, that's why. Okay, cool. Then let me just double check that I got the height right? Well, wait, that's a cover piece. Okay, I know we carefully designed this. I guess I'll just sink them into the ground actually. I think I designed this so that the ramps would be the proper height. Speaking of, I don't know what to... Actually, we've got this. A bit warped, but I'm gonna leave it like that for now and hope to like... I don't really want this texture on the ramps anyway, so we can replace them later, but I am gonna leave them kind of janky style now. Yeah, I think this material is one I've wanted to replace anyway because I've noticed it doing this stuff. And I'm not gonna deal with that. Self-care and all that. I'm not gonna deal with that today. It will be dealt with eventually. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. Back to the other problem assets. Lower them down to here because we want this to be a piece of cover, not necessarily the top of the wall. Now we just keep sliding them over. I am impressed with how strong Fortnite keeps going. Like, every time I think, like, it really has become like a... Their goal was to kind of become a Roblox competitor, I think, and they really have. I think there are a lot of people out there that you could only play, like, Fortnite, and that's enough for you. That's the game you play. Okay, now I know I measured this out correctly. So what was the acid I was using then? Ooh, we could replace the ramp with stairs. Maybe that could work. It needs to be... what is happening measurement wise here? I measured this out and it worked perfectly the other stream. What happened? Because now we're gonna have this here. I guess I'll just line this up here. That's close enough. I'll leave that like that. But yeah, I almost want to pull up my VOD and see what did I use to measure, because I used what I thought was the correct measurement for the width of this. so it would be easy. Yeah, I'm gonna stream snipe myself. I'm gonna look at my VODs. Who's this Emily Cookie Dough girl? When did we do it? When was the blockout day? Ah, the game dev weekend. I see. Show the wall piece. Show the wall piece. Aha! I found it. What was that? Okay, it's the same piece. Huh? What? Alright, we're gonna have to get fancy with it. We're gonna have to get fancy with it. So, question number 1. Does this thing stretch nicely? No, it does not. I just thought I would check if it was world aligned or not. Do we have a 1-meter pillar? Like a column would work here. I don't know if they've got a column though. This pack, this medieval pack does have law shapes though. Fall thin, maybe? Maybe you. Though it has a different height from the rest of the pack. Why are you a different? Oh wait, no, it's not. I'm stupid. But let me do this. It overlaps a little bit, but I think I'm fine with that. Because if we let's hide the block out. The floor is included in part of the block out, I guess. Okay, that don't look too bad. Hold on. Okay, that'll be our solution. Let me start. Where's our template level? Let me quickly drop a few of these pieces just over here so we know what to deal with. So we've got you. We've got preparing. It's gonna be one of those days. It's gonna be one of those days. We haven't had a stream crash in a while. I'm impressed. Let me... I mean, we haven't made a lot of progress yet, is the good thing, but did it recover any of it? No. No, it did not. It did not save anything. Cool. I love working in Unreal Engine. Alright, from the top. Running it back, That's that's awesome. Well, now that I'm awake. Okay, so I use this piece. Right, we were using you, and then we were also using stone wall thin. So what is the difference between you and you? Oh, the only difference I can see is like the directions. Let's use you. Let's use you then. The thin assets so that we have consistency. If I open the template level, is it going to scream again? Bless me. I have no idea why it crashed then. It said it was a shader issue. I guess it just got overloaded and panicked and crashed it all. Burned it to the ground. Now that that's dealt with, let's get this in place again. I'm gonna plan ahead and put this here for the entrance. Turn that up. Or let me lower them all. Let me lower them all, I said. Oh wait, I don't want to select the small ones. Just these. And now we select the tiny ones. Get that out of here. Maybe I should have gameplay as well. Actually, should I put these? These go all the way to the top, so let me... Okay, and then we've got like a thick floor piece there. what is our floor piece gonna be? Because the floor piece is gonna overlap on this layer, but it's gonna be built on top on this layer. Maybe I should just finish. I should just focus on the walls first. Let's go in unlit mode. It's gonna be on, or actually this goes behind the scenes. So it's fine if we just do something like this. How much will players see? Players won't see this either. Okay, so this would be fine if it just is a little thin pillar here. Snap it a little differently. We're figuring this out. We're figuring this out. And then I'm going to leave this open today. This white cube is going to be like a vista fortress. It's going to be its own separate little thing, because it's not playable space. It's more just like a visual blocker that implies you're in a much larger ancient fortress, but it's not any of it's playable. Especially for, I'll only be streaming for like another hour today. Short stream. I got up like extra early for like the first couple streams of the week that I'm like, I just set the alarm for like 7:45 for today. I'm like, I'm gonna need that extra 15 minutes just sleep and take this over here. Speaking of Sonic, I've got that Sonic video essay still on the way. That might drop a little earlier for subscribers. I'm still gonna release it on the usual YouTube 7th of the month type of way, but that might drop a little earlier for subscribers. If I can get a first pass fit done in like the next week, I will be out of town for Labor Day weekend. And then I'll be coming back probably like later on the actual first, so I could just like upload it once I get back, but I'll probably be tired as well. So I'm thinking if I can get a first pass, might be a little rougher depending on how much time I give myself, but if I can get a first pass done by the end of next week, then I'd want to just leave it up for subscribers to take a peek at early. Just a little gift. And maybe because of that, I'd let just Twitch followers see it as well a bit early before YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. But I do like sticking with the schedule for YouTube. Though I am definitely trying to still figure out the push and pull of like the clickbaitiness versus like the quality of the video itself. I've been more simple and to the point. I've been happier with the quality of thumbnails and the quality of the actual videos themselves. And people have said, I think people that have been watching all the video essays have said their favorites have been the storytelling one and the last one, the theme parks one. So those I feel have been higher quality. I was a bit stressed making the 3DS one, and I was worried it was gonna come out like too too chaotic, and then the tutorials one was the first video essay I did, so I definitely felt it was a bit rough looking back on it. But those were like a bit more clickbaity with like their titles and their actual like hooks at the start of the video, and they've seen like way better numbers comparatively, even though I think they're like a bit, they're not low quality, but compared to like some of the other videos I've done, I feel like the quality's higher on those. So I'm trying to find the balance. I feel like a Sonic video, I'll be able to hit that attention span. Right now I've been brainstorming video ideas like a Sonic retrospective from like a Mario fan, and those types of title ideas, things that will have, because I figure I need stuff that will bring in people from both sides to generate a conversation as well. So something like that would get people that don't like Sonic to be like, oh yeah, I don't like Sonic for like these reasons, I want to see them explored in the video. And people that do love Sonic are gonna hop in like, oh boy, what's she gonna say about my lad? I need to be ready to fight. But hopefully they'll find that actually it's a bit of a critique, but it's also a bit of like, I learned how to appreciate the series more. And I'm glad about it. So yeah, I'm trying to focus on like titles and thumbnails that can generate interest in like multiple parties and a wider audience, while still being authentic and true. Doesn't really recommend Sonic things for people that don't like Sonic. Well, that's why I'm gonna mention Mario. Mario is not gonna have that much of a place in the video. But that's the setting I'm trying to do, thumbnail wise and let's say thumbnail wise and what am I talking about? Oh, I kept these, okay, I kept these doors wider, but these ones are shorter. How did I do this over here? Oh, I shifted it upwards. Well, no wonder this is off. I shifted it wrong. But yeah, I'm definitely, this first year of video essays is definitely going to be a learning curve, and like me trying to figure out what the do's and don'ts like kind of are and what things work and not, which I know is hard because the modern YouTube algorithm is trash. People that have been on the platform for years still can't figure it out. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm not too concerned about numbers because making just content I'm happy with is my priority. But I do want to make sure that people that are interested in a topic can see the video on said topic. I might at the start of next year. I currently have all my VODs, compilations, and video essays in one spot, one YouTube. I might split and make a separate VODs channel. I'd keep all the 2025 VODs archived on the original one, but I might split and make a separate VOD channel. I don't want to really do that until like the start of a new year, just to keep them in one spot. But that might help a little bit as well, to break those apart. Also, hello there, Natsack. How are you doing today? But yeah, that Sonic video's on the way, and I also have the Elden Ring highlights video for the summer streams. I have that ready to go. Like, I just need to do another pass through it, and then I'll export that. So that is going to be up for subscribers on the channel either tonight or early tomorrow before stream. And then that will go up on YouTube. So if you're during Labor Day weekend before I head out, if you're subscribed to this channel, you'll have the Sonic video, hopefully, to watch, and if you are a follower or if you are a YouTube viewer, then you will have an Elden Ring compilation that I will put that up right before I head out for Labor Day weekend. But yeah, originally I was just gonna save and do both and release both and start those processes once I got back, but I'm like, I'll give y'all something for next weekend to be entertained. I was thinking maybe I just keep this, make this a lower entrance. I should have saved its building shaders again. I like this entrance being lower than the other two though. Okay, I think for this, I think for the sides actually I will raise them up because the front is kind of snapping differently because we build it up to this big open space here. So I'm gonna... Oh, but we have you. We have you. Where does it happen? Not cleanly. Here's what we can do though. Here's what we can do. Can make it happen cleanly. So yeah, let's snap those in place and then delete these two and we'll put like a wedge in here. 7 months! Oh my gosh, Sona. Thank you for the sub. I can't believe it's been 7 months. How you doing this morning? Is this the same? Okay, yeah, it's the same. I'm like, as long as I do this on both sides, if one side suddenly comes out at a different height, then I don't know what to do, but it should be fine. Snap this up. Cool, so we'll just focus on making the floor extra thick. Which actually, yeah, that lines up with how we designed the floor piece anyway. Oh, we're fixing it, we're fixing it. And for you, let's see, do we see this piece at all? We don't, it's not player facing. Which means we can just snap this here as we see fit. It's always been like that. That's crazy. Alright, alright. So we're able to keep the two, like, entrances at those different heights, which is what I wanted. I'm ready for the weekend. I'm ready for the weekend. It has been a long week. But a good week. It's been a good week as well. I think just very busy. And yes, speaking of busy, I don't get to talk about career stuff much because NDA, so I don't get to talk about what I do professionally too much, just out of habit. But the current company I'm with and the current game I'm working on, SCP-5K, it's a Steam title in early access that I work with an indie company on for my current level designer job, and they just released another update, 0.17, and it's focused on being an overhaul to the entire like wave survival system, and I have 3 maps in it. I have 3 maps featured in it. It's just very fun. I have a favorite map too that's kind of, I don't want to spoil too much, but it's inspired by a theater. And it's a bit more of a linear horror progression rather than while being set in an arena type of space. So that was really fun to explore. But that is out now for any SCP or tactical horror fans out there. Or just fans if you're a fan of a good wave survival mode. It is also on sale, I think, through the weekend. So that's been fun. But that released the other day, so I've been watching people play through it. And that's been it's been a lot of fun because I had like very specific, when I like design arenas, I like still have like this story goal in mind. I think just because it's an arena doesn't mean you can't like tell a story with it. So I had like these emotions and these feelings I wanted players to have while like playing through the arena. It's always what makes it nervous on launch day is like, will they feel these things? I think there's, for 2 of my levels, there's been like YouTubers that have had like the exact intended experience. For the theater inspired one, I spent so many months like perfecting like sequences and like tuning everything and trying to get the shape language just right so people would turn into directions I want them to see spooky things happening, and to have the realization of like what type of level that they're in slowly happen to them, and to like walk right into jump scare situations. And people have been getting scared, and that makes me very happy. I like when the people are scared. So that's been just a joy to see. And then I have an earlier map based off of a chemical plant that I watched like one team, all of them. It's meant to be a difficulty spike, so like all of them kind of like died except one person, and that one person like was against one of the stronger enemies in the game, and they somehow managed to like with their last clip finally down the enemy, but it's based off a chemical plant, right? So there's a bit of a hazard component to it. So they had to cross said hazard to get to the exit, and they were able to. I was worried maybe people went. It was a level designer concern of mine was like, oh gosh, are people going to be able to navigate back to the entrance if they failed this, and this? They were able to with just a sliver of health left, and they run into the elevator and their team's like cheering them on. They're like, you did it, you saved us all. And I was like, it's very hard to tune an experience like that. Like, there were so many playtests I did that was just completely lost and not happening. So it's very hard to get an emotional experience like that just right. But it seems like at least some people are getting it, so I'm so happy. Because that's always been my goal as a level designer. I think it's the emotional impact for me. I'm like, whether that emotion's going to be scaring people, or whether that emotion's going to be, this is too tall. Yeah, whether that emotion's going to be scaring people or giving them like a ray of hope. What I've enjoyed working on for like an SCP game is I did this in the 0.16 update a bit with the area I did there as well. I like to give people a chance where they think they feel safe and they're like refueling on like meds and ammo and they're like talking amongst themselves, and then plant little seeds of unsafety around them and make them, it's not really I need to get better about. I like doing that, make them feel safe and then instantly scare them, but I like to build a little more tension into that with my stuff, as well as make them feel safe and then suggest, are you sure you're really safe? And have them question it. And like just do little smaller scares for a bit, and then lead into either a heavy jump scare or like heavy combat is what I've been doing the past few updates. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. But that's all. I won't go into specifics because I don't want to spoil. The game mode's still very, very new. And it is a mode that if you die, you have to start from this beginning again. It is supposed to be more of a challenging type of trial, so I don't think a lot of people have seen. I've got 2 maps near the end of it, so I don't want to spoil, because I don't think a lot of people have seen it. But I hope people are having fun. It seems like people have really been having fun with these updates, so that makes me happy. Put this on this. What am I doing? Grab that. There's probably a thicker piece than this, unless I could just layer. I could just layer them all on top of each other, couldn't it? But no, we're gonna use you instead. We've got to have a chunky piece available. Alright. We will have to find something to fill the stairs underneath, but I can do that another time. Let me check the nav situation out. Do I not have nav auto building? That's probably better, actually, if it's not auto building. Let me save everything since it's being so peculiar today. Or wait, it's just because it's in the gameplay level. Do you like these stairs? Alright, sometimes the nav doesn't like stairs with certain like kits. It'll be like, I don't want to build there. And I'm like, why? But these seem to be working. These seem to be working. I think we had this existing. I might put a block. In fact, let me do that right now. I'm gonna try a little. I'm gonna do a little magic trick for you. Do we have a blocking volume? If not, I'll have a. We do have a blocking volume. So we're gonna make you a little small. We're gonna tilt you like so. This way a bit? Nah. Let's be steeper so that it actually goes into the ground. We turn off snapping so we have a little more control. And then let me set this, let me see, the only thing is this then creates a toe trap for players, Which I don't want. I could set it to just enemies, but I forget. Yeah, I don't think I have an enemy tag like set up or anything. Because Lyra doesn't like to do things like that by default. So let me just see how bad does it feel. I should have used play from here. Oh, there goes Boddington. Alright, Boddington used it. Okay, it's not bad for players. There's a bit of a pause, but it's like a step up. I'll leave it like that for now. The enemies like it. clearly. So yeah, sometimes if you have ramps and spots like this that are causing nav issues and you're like, I wish the nav built smoother, sometimes you have to turn collision off on some things, and sometimes you have to add a tiny little extra bit of collision. A little game designer hack there. A hydrator. I've got a big old cold brew. Pumpkin spice cold brew. I saw Dunkin' has their pumpkin spice menu out. I am sad to see the cookie dough flavor go though. Being Emily cookie dough, y'all can imagine I tend to like when places do cookie dough syrups. But I did finally get cookie butter at the store, and I have the Chobani cookie dough creamer, so I can kind of make do at home with the cookie dough stuff now. But yeah, Dunkin's pumpkin stuff looks good. But I'm actually more excited. They have like the Dunkin' Latte has like their coffee milk that I actually haven't tried yet, but people say it's like really, really good. They've introduced something similar called cereal milk, and it's kind of like just milk flavored with marshmallow stuff, and it's supposed to taste like a bowl of Lucky Charms. So they have a latte with that, and I'm like, kind of want to get that. Part of me's like, what? Somebody's probably had to have done this already, right? If you put the cereal milk into the pumpkin spice latte, is that too much sugar? I could find out, but I fear I would teleport through like the walls, and I think that would be frightening to see on stream. I don't want to I just talked about all the ways I like to scare players, but I don't want to scare y'all all of the time. Oh wait, let me go back into art level. Let me turn snapping back on. And then I know Starbucks comes out with their stuff next week. Starbucks isn't bringing back my apple drinks, so I'm a little angry. I'm also, some of like the local places around here are dropping theirs, and I'm like looking at each one seeing if they do any apple macchiatos. I've seen someone do an apple cider, but no apple macchiato, and I'm like, somebody please? You will have my money. You will have my money. I need it. Somebody do an apple macchiato, and I'm there all season. I think the one place I'm waiting on, like there's a Big B coffee near me that I've started going to. It's like a gas station one, but they're really nice, and they the only thing is I have to, no joke, take 7 roundabouts back to back. I'm not joking. There are 7 roundabouts back to back I have to take. It's a 10-minute drive, and it's actually the same distance as Starbucks and Dunkin' are from me. It just feels like a 20-minute drive because of the roundabouts I have to take to get there. But it's worth it. They had some like really good summer drinks. They like went the whole s'mores and like campfire route. I'm like, apple, please. Please have apple. But my failsafe is, I am gonna go, there's an orchard near us also that is open now. So hopefully we are gonna take an orchard trip sometime next month while the apples are still fresh. And I might legitimately just learn to make my own syrups. And start by making like just a big thing of apple syrup and being like, well, this is our syrup for the next forever. Okay, this is gonna be a very ugly solution. If you're an artist, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Don't look. Don't look. It's almost, the pain's almost over. It's almost over, I swear. I swear. It's almost over. Maybe. Okay, pain's over. It's done. It's done. You can look now. You can look now. Crisis has been averted. Okay, I think I like the idea of the stairs outside, but we probably should just stick to ramps inside. We shouldn't push our luck with these. Let's just get that big ol' solo piece. There's a bigger one. That'll stretch a bit better. Actually, would this shape work? I don't think so, but I just want to see. No. Actually, you know what? The materials are like pre-warped on these. Like this part isn't that clean anyway to begin with. So you know what? I will warp them. But I want to look at more material and decal stuff for this map anyway, since we'll be reusing a lot of the art pieces we put into not the fortress, the Forgotten City map and the Spiral Tower map. We'll be reusing, oh my gosh, we'll be using a lot of the rocks and the landscape type stuff we had like in the tower map here as well for the exterior. So because of that, I do want to freshen it up and dive into more like decals and like variations of this stuff. Also, I saw that spooky little video Pokemon put together. And now, like, I know they just did it for, like, promotion since Legends ZA is coming out soon. But I really want a scary Pokemon game. It doesn't have to be, like, full horror, but I want Pokemon's take on Resident Evil. Like, Resident Evil Biohazard. I want their take on it. Like, the little video definitely wasn't perfect, but it did a really decent job of, like, setting the mood. And like I said, level design for me is very emotion-based. So I'm like, I kind of hope, you know, Pokemon's never been shy to spin-offs, and like Sense of Legends is like taking the spin-off idea and again doing its own thing with breaking how turn-based combat works and how open world stuff works. They're taking these risks in Legends, I feel like, to test the waters as to whether it will work or not in mainline, and I feel like that on its own is a good idea. I want them to do that with different stuff tonally now. They kind of did that with Legends a bit too, with the more like the older Japan type setting. The phlegm in my throat, oh my god. But like the older setting for that, and then in ZA it's gonna be like the big city setting. So I want them to take that a step further, and I just need yeah, I just need them to make the jump and for us to get Resident Evil Pokemon. What's it gonna take? They've tackled so many genres with Pokemon, actually. It's kind of insane. Even if it just ended up being like a Luigi's Mansion, the original Luigi's Mansion's actually pretty dark, so it is possible. I'm trying to think of all the like Gamescom stuff that I've seen. I also saw the big one that I told my family about was the Halloween trailer. They're making a Halloween. I don't really know what type of horror game it is. It kind of had like every type of tag for the genre, and then it said a single player and multiplayer experience, and they showed no gameplay in the trailer, so that's a little worrying. But a lot of people were worried about it, but it is by, I think, part of the team that did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, and my only complaint with that game was that it was so short-lived. Honestly, it was really funny. I think that's been my favorite, like, DBD competitor, honestly. And, like, some of the motion and, like, the characters in the Halloween trailer looked a little janky, and I did immediately think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre seeing that. So I wouldn't mind, like, a similar kind of janky experience, but hey, you get to play as, like, Michael Myers. My dad is excited. He really wants that to be. He really wants to play as him. I could introduce him to Dead by Daylight, but I love my father, so I will not be doing that. I've been back into playing Dead by Daylight recently with friends. I like playing with friends, it's very fun. I'm too chicken to play online. Every time I play online, it's just a humiliating, humbling experience. Which is the point of the game, I know, but... Yeah, it's like, that's kind of how I feel about multiplayer games in general. For me at least. It's like, I will play with like a group of friends, I'll play any multiplayer game. Like, they're all fun to me. But it's hard for me to play them of my own free will online, because I'm like, man, people suck. I don't wanna play. I think that's why even though Nintendo's multiplayer, like, functionally is next to broken, so it also sucks. I think that's why I like it more, though, is because it's like, well, now I don't have to talk to anyone, they can't talk to me. This is perfect levels of communication. But yeah, you can definitely I've definitely been in some really fun lobbies for sure. But you can also have like the more toxic ones, kind of. Yeah, it's more like a lack of patience. Like, if you're new to the game, how old is DBD now? Like, it's very hard to learn. You kind of have to play with friends and like have a group teaching you to learn before you go online. Otherwise, you're just never going to be able to learn how to play the game. There's like a very strong barrier to entry, I feel. So yeah, it's kind of almost like D&D in a way. You have to like either be initiated in by somebody, or you just gotta risk it and like try to figure it all out yourself and be like very overwhelmed by the amount of information and the amount of people judging you. But I've been playing again. My favorite it's almost a decade old. But I remember when it came out. I remember when multiple people could take the hatch. What do you mean from 2016? That's not possible. That can't be true. Yeah, my favorite perk is Plot Twist. It's the like Nick Cage one where basically if you're injured you can fake your death, but you can recover from your fake death. And then when you recover you have full health. So it's like, it is a favorite perk of mine, no joke. I had a really fun match with friends, my partner, and he was the killer, so I could hear him in the other room, and he was he just opened the door and stared at me. He's really good at the game, you guys. He's really good at the game. He's never missed a kill. except for this one time. It was the Raccoon City map, which he does hate. But he was trying to be mean to me. He was trying to kill me, which is kind of rude. So I went into a corner and I plot twisted and I just lied there, and I heard him from the other room like yell out because he saw it shows on your little character icon like your status, right? So it did show me like go from injured to like being down, and he knew he didn't do that. He's like, "You're plot twisting," and he's always like, "Why? Like that perk's just a goof perk. It's not gonna actually help you in a match." Guess who made it out alive? I did. He's really good at the game though. I usually die first. I have some really good survivor matches actually. I legitimately can't play killer though. And I think I'm gonna go blind at an early age. Like, when all my perks that I take as killer have to be sight based, like it has to be letting me see the trails more easily, letting me like see where players are more constantly, and because of that I don't have as much strength as a killer. I have to just rely on like actual like anti-looping skill to get people, which can be hard some days. But yeah, all my perks have to be sight based because I literally can't see people. I think the worst match, I haven't played him since, but my secondary killer, my main one's the Trapper because he's kind of easy to play. My secondary one is Michael Myers because my dad raised me right. But his stuff is you have to like just be creepy and stare at people, right, to advance, which I'm good at being creepy. So it's a good fit for a killer, but you have to find people to stare at them in DBD. I had one match, I think this was like 2 years ago, I think now. It's actually been a while since I've played them. I had one match where I couldn't find anybody the entire match, so because of that I couldn't power up the entire match. I had like I was at level 1 the entire time, and I didn't see anybody until the very end. I saw them all standing it was my friends, but they were all standing at the door and they started like teabagging, and I just stood there, and it was the saddest Michael Myers player you'll ever see. I stood there and just watched them all go. Like, some of them came up, they're like, "Oh, you can hit me, you can kill me, you know, since you suck, you can kill me." I just stood there like just a full disgust, like, I don't want to play. I think I laid down on the floor and I was like, I need a moment. But I had one really good match as him when I first started playing because I didn't tell my friends that I bought him. and we were all new to the game at that point, so they didn't know how to play against them yet. So yeah, it was just a fun time where they're like, who's she playing? Who's she's playing? And then they're like, oh my god, it's the guy from Halloween! And just everyone like scrambling around, and they didn't know I got stronger by like watching them, so they'd be like looping me and stuff and be like hee hee ha ha, and I was only getting stronger. So that was fun. It's fun to play when no one knows what they're doing. Once everyone starts learning what to do, it's like, oh god. That's why I do like sometimes getting online games right away and like enjoying them for the first like month or so, and then afterwards I'm like, people know how to play the game now. GG. That's why I have to buy Kirby Air Riders on release, because no one's gonna know what to do. It's just gonna be chaos, and I'm so excited about that. Also, hello, Fluly. Wanted your seat reserved. I'm probably gonna head off here soon. I do have work in 9 minutes. So my voice is gone today, hello? I sound like I've got the plague or something. I think it's just because I had 2 lattes yesterday. But yeah, we will be doing longer streams both tomorrow and Sunday. So I'll be around. I'm just seeing how many more of these walls I can put up. Oh, you're gonna be too tall, aren't you? Okay, but I think it won't look too bad clipping down if we put you there. Right? We'll find out, we'll find out. So yeah, let me try to get the last of the walls in real quick, and then we'll save we'll save some of the, like, filling in the gaps and the floors and ceilings for the next one. For next week. Actually, I just realized DVD's on Switch 2 now, right? My parents just got one, so it is feasible. I could introduce my dad to it. But again, I love my father. Could I do that to a family member? I don't think it's, like, ethical to introduce a family member to DBD. I'd feel horrible about it. I'll have to think about it though. I'll have to think about it though. He did, like, we did play a little bit of Friday the 13th before it shut down. And he did like that, but also that game was extra broken, and I think that's why. That was the charm of the game, was that it was all messed up. I miss it every day though. That's the sad thing, is a lot of, like, these DBD, like, competitors, they're actually not that bad. It's just people don't expect them to last long, because they usually don't. They get taken down, like, right away. But I've enjoyed a lot of them. They're usually not as polished and a bit more janky, but that kind of forms an identity and a character of its own. Especially because, like, I think it's because scary games at their crux are also, like, it's a bit of campiness too, right? To them. So when something funny, I guess it ties into my word, right? When something funny happens in a horror game, it calms you down for a moment, and that makes the next jump scare even scarier, because there's a bigger contrast to like your emotional state. So yeah, I am hopeful that the Halloween game will stick around a bit more because it has a single player mode. I'm like, well, they're not gonna possibly just fully shut down a single player mode, right? It could be something like the Avengers where like the online mode gets taken offline at some point, but there's still a bit that remains. So that is my hope. But yeah, I will have to buy that and play it like day one with my dad just in case it gets taken offline. I'll be like, so we gotta beat this game now. I'm gonna have to give him the like lore backdrop on like scary games that get shut down and have a short lifespan. That's the scariest part about these DVD games, is it's like, oh my gosh, when will it go away? So it is scary. Very, very scary. Yeah, I'll let this entrance be a bit narrower. I'll finish carving that out on the next one. What have we got so far? Alright. We've got like most of the walls. Again, I've left this back one open because that's going to be like a full vista, so we'll just leave it. Maybe we'll just slap a brick texture on it next week. We'll see. We'll see how far we get, but yeah, I think I want to spend next weekend still doing the structural setup, and then hopefully the following week. So at the end of September and throughout all of October and into November, we are gonna jump back into Fortnite Creative. We have an Oz Tycoon map that we made for last year's Blocktober. That's like level designer Inktober essentially. So I want to either revisit that or like duplicate it and make Oz Tycoon 2 and basically polish up some of the mechanics, mainly focus on polish. I don't want to actually overhaul the existing system too much, but I want it to look better and I want to feel better feedback wise. I think that's the main part of a tycoon game, is having like addicting sounds, having an addicting game loop. So I want to make it like only things we're changing mechanically are just like tightening up the existing systems. Which it might sound like, oh, just polish, like why are we gonna spend 3 months on just polish? You can spend 3 months on just polish, believe me. So we are gonna start that planning back up at the end of September, but we still have like a month of streams I want to do with this level. So I think taking another week to do the structural placements, and then after that I want to do put a landscape in here. We aren't going to do too much with it, but I would like to do a little bit of pathing, a little bit of foliage, and maybe a tiny bit of verticality, maybe some hills and stuff, because the original map's very flat, and I respect it, but we're playing in Lyra, which can be a bit rough, so we're going to add maybe a few hills here and there. But yeah, that is going to be it for today. Hopefully we can have the full structural pass done next Friday. But again, going to have some more streams this weekend. We're going to have Hades 2, our last version, with early access. Hopefully we can flirt with Icarus a little bit more, because I know he has a full arc now that I want to see, but we'll see how far we get with that tomorrow, and after that we are putting it down until 1.0 releases. I want to say we've already beaten the Underworld many times now, and we've beaten a couple of Olympus runs, so I want to save the true endings I don't want to be like I don't want to be too OP and see all of the character interactions before 1.0 comes out. I do want to save a little bit of the existing content for the full thing. So yeah, we'll put it down until whenever 1.0 releases, whether that's soon or whether that's sometime next year. We'll make the time for it. But yeah, Hades 2 early access tomorrow. Tears of the Kingdom, trying to 100% Koroks. We'll see how far we can get with that on Sunday. And then we will be checking out the new Inzoi update on Monday because Sims 4 is broken currently. So thank you Inzoi for releasing free DLC so that we still have a live sim to play on Monday morning. And then if you're interested in more game dev stuff, we should be pretty set for like the next month for them to be consistently on Fridays. I currently don't have like any Friday plans after the hair appointment last week. So we should be set to keep working on this. But I'll leave you guys with the music. I gotta go start work now. I'll see you all in the next one.